DraftKings has doubled that performance. And you understand why. You have this massive secular wave behind it. So the negative impact is that it's all young men. And I parallel that with, or dovetail that with Pew Research, which says that 63% of young men are single. And that's the highest it's ever been. And 50% of those young men have no interest in dating, not even casually.
This is Meredith Whitney, appearing on CNBC. She's known as the Oracle of Wall Street for predicting the financial crisis.
And 30% of those men, or 30% of young men, say they have not had sex in over a year and don't seem to care. So the point being,
because they're getting pleasure out of sports betting instead.
Sports betting now through technology is as easy as buying something, ordering a pizza online, or shopping online. And what you see is young men who've grown up with gaming are used to doing everything on their phone, and now they can do all sorts of betting on their phone. You can do real-time parlays on their phone during a game, and it's been explosive.
Thing she brings up is part hilarity, part insanity. More from Whitney.
But what this means for housing then is you have the lowest household formation growth rate in over 60 years. It could be longer, but that's as long as the data has been comprised. And so you have young men who don't want to date, and young women who are spending their time really with Instagram moments, going to the Taylor Swift concert. I don't know if you've been to them. It's all filmed about yourself at the Taylor Swift concert. So
they're not getting married and building homes.
She honestly sounds a lot like this guy. The same man who brought up the horrendous can't buy homes because you buy avocado toast take. One quick note. This story is about DraftKings and FanDuel mainly being easily accessible on your phone through apps. Rupert Murdoch's New York Post, at the top of their write-up on Meredith, put a picture of her along with a frustrated woman in bed because a man is reading a newspaper? What is going on here? Regardless, Meredith cites a Pew Research Center piece, which we found. And it concluded roughly 6 in 10 young men report by being single, adding among Americans who are single, the largest share, 57%, say they are not currently looking for a relationship or casual dates. First things first. In her rant, she would talk about housing and equate DraftKings and FanDuel online gambling to housing. How? I don't know, but let's address it. Everything is getting more expensive in this sector, as we know. And a great example is the median home sales price is $431,000 as of Q3 2023. That's a 31% increase from the start of 2020. The reason, per Freddie Mac, the country is short about 3.8 million units of housing, both for rent and for sale, meaning there aren't enough homes to keep up with the number of new households that are forming. Just some reasons for the shortage are a lack of available labor to build homes, regulations over land use, and zoning. On the dating leading to marriage front from Meredith, there's more. IfStudies.org wrote, after 2 years of decline, marriages in the U.S. have now returned to pre-pandemic levels. For every 100,000 unmarried adults in 2022, 34 tied the knot, according to the newly released 2022 American Community Survey from the census. This marks a significant increase from the rate of 30 per 1,000 in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. Prior to, the rate stood at 33 per 1,000 in 2018 and 34 per 1,000 in 2019. Then there's also this from Psychology Today. Let's go over it. In a recent interview with The Hill, psychologist and masculinity researcher Fred Rabinowitz of the University of Redlands pointed to a pandemic-era adaptations that have lost their utility. He suggested young men are watching a lot of social media, a lot of porn, and I think they're getting a lot of their needs met without having to go out, said Rabinowitz. There are just a few things that I have to address here, okay? I took some notes. The cost of living has gone up. Also, the cost of just going out has gone up. Ubers appear to be more expensive. Drinks are more expensive. Going out to eat is more expensive. Everything is there. And yet the minimum wage has not gone up. Wages have remained flatlined. while everything else is going in the opposite direction in the worst way possible. We have bills to pay. We have food to put on the table. We have a job, and I think I can speak for many, that is incredibly stressful no matter what it is in this country. Capitalism rules, and we are worked like dogs. So on top of this, the United States, outside of some but not all major cities and college campuses, they're not walkable. So you have to drive, you have to pay for parking, you have to pay for an Uber. And what they're doing in this country is building the way of living being revolved and going places being revolved around a car, which is making the thought of community unimaginable. That's why we used to love college. And I saw this from a TikTok, and I 1000% agree with this. Like, a lot of people reflect on college as this great thing, which it was, but also we need to think about how we structured our daily lives, which was just like walking or taking one bus to get from point A to point B. And so many things were in a very compact place where we could go to the gym, we can go to the mess hall, we can go play basketball, we can go to class, we can go to the library, we can go back to our room, and then we can go out and walk all of it. I live in Chicago, which is one of the most walkable cities in America, and still it is completely segregated. It's bad. Another part, which I already alluded to. Would you rather buy a six-pack and watch what you want to watch, or, a bottle of wine, bottle of whiskey, and, go pick up a pizza, for example? Or, and this goes for a lot of people, pay for an Uber, go out, pay for expensive food, pay for expensive drinks, pay for an Uber back. One sounds more reliable and easygoing on our finances than the other. The LA Times would add, in 2021, the survey found the number of young Californians aged 18 to 30 who reported having no sexual partners the prior year reached a decade high of 38%. In 2011, 22% of young people reported having no sexual partners during the prior year, and the percentage climbed fairly steadily as the decade progressed. Here is the point. Among the younger generation, this has been a trend, with or without betting apps. Meredith also puts the onus on young men, which, yes, partially, but also young women, because they don't want to be bogged down. They want to strive towards a career path. They want to explore who they are just as much as men. I actually think this goes both ways. All the reasons I mentioned, and then also thinking about your career and how you don't want to have the responsibility of being attached to somebody when you are young and still exploring life.